We need to have a very serious talk. Here on the internet, you're bombarded with stories of people reaching remarkable fame, reaching remarkable fortune with the snap of their fingers. CNBC had this article, they don't run them anymore, but they were running all these articles of how I make $300,000 a year working 2 hours a week, or how I make $1 million a year working 20 hours a month. And you're hit over the head consistently with this ideal that you can become fantastically wealthy in a very short period of time, not doing a lot of work. And I'm here to say it's fundamentally false. And this is one of the areas of the internet that's a problem. I'm going to explain to you how this happened. And I'll share my story. My story began about 20 something years ago, and I used to work a regular job, and I hit upon hard times, and I ended up living in this rooming house. And that's where the story began, because I kind of fell out of normal society. And I started to self-educate, and I started to really work hard. And I want you to remember, this process started in 1999. Actually, the 1998 is when the process really started. So this is like 25 years ago. And I went through many procedures. I went through figuring out how to get a really good job. And that's where it all started. So let's go from 1998, 1999, 2000, 2001. So we could talk about a 4-year period of me learning the things that I needed to learn to become successful. And here's one of the things, like I have an educational program where I take phone calls to let people in, and I really do this because it's a lot of work. And the majority of people that I talk to are not prepared to do the work. They're just simply not prepared. And one of the things that I consistently see is that many people are not prepared to do the work. And I think this comes from, let's call it the hustling marketing department. You want to start a business, you want to set up a holding company, an operating company, you want to get yourself some business credit, you want to learn how to run a business, you want to start your first online business. If you want to do that, and congratulations to you for being a person that wants more out of life, for being that person that's ready to sit down, do the work so your future can be brighter. I got something for you. Go below and enter into the Corporate Citizen Playbook, where we teach you all of that, plus a lot more. Because you are not a normal, regular person. You want more out of life. You want to do more, you want to be more, you want to have more. And congratulations to you. So the link is below. Go ahead and check out this video, and then go ahead and enroll in the Corporate Citizen Playbook, where I teach you some things that you cannot Google. Can't Google it. Can't Google it at all. Once again, going back to my story, I spent those 4 years learning how to do stuff. Then I got in the storage auction business. So let's say 14 years. I spent 14 years between going from, leaving that boarding house to getting into business, starting successful businesses. And in 2009, I came on YouTube. But I had 14 years of sales experience, marketing experience, branding experience. I knew how to get clients. 14 years. And whenever I come on the internet and I say, hey, you can become successful in business, but you're looking at probably 3 to 5 years. It falls flat because people don't want to hear that, because they heard little Nikki over here was a homeless single mother with 3 kids, and she got into this gee whiz bang thing, and like 90 days later, she's making $30,000 a month. She didn't go to college. She didn't do any training. She just hit this right thing. And that's one of the things, because if I wasn't honest, I could have said, hey, how to set up this program and make $1.6 million in 3 years. True story. It happened. But the more important thing is we have to look at all of the back work that came before the money. And when I came to YouTube, I had 14 years of business experience, sales experience, marketing experience, branding experience. So when I started my YouTube channel, I started marketing and branding from jump, even though I didn't have a product to sell. Why is that? Because it takes time for branding and marketing to kick in. You may have to brand and market and run ads for a month or 2 or 3 months before they start to take effect. Right now, we have a lot of people, because this is one of the reasons, because I'm getting ready to go into my second phase of my training, is people are so unprepared to be successful, it's staggering. Number one, this is one of the reasons that I say, hey, you should have money. Right now, there are many people on the internet who are telling you, don't save no money, invest every penny, don't save any money. I was reading the story of a CPA. He only keeps $5,000 cash and he invests everything else. You know what that tells me? He ain't making a lot of money. He's not making a lot of money. I have been able to have 7 figures in the bank because I was making $350,000 per month. So the money was coming in so fast, it just stacked up. But anyone that tells you they invest everything and they don't keep a lot of cash, they typically don't make a lot of money. Thiel, he lost $50 million in the Silicon Valley bank collapse because he had $50 million in that account. And this is one of the things. There are many people who would lead you to believe that rich people don't keep money in the bank. Rich people are always out here investing. They don't keep money in the bank. They're just not. I'm here to tell you that's fundamentally false. That's fundamentally false. And this whole lack of preparation, lack of having good credit, lack of having money, and looking for, we're going to call it that secret ninja hack, where you can be untrained, uneducated, have no skills, and get into this hack and start making a lot of money really, really quickly. You know, there's a certain sector of society where that happens quite a bit. It's called crime. It's called crime because that's typically where you could go in with no experience, not a lot of training, without an education, and make a lot of money very, very quickly. Let's talk about the money, because this is one of the things I find to be really interesting. Everyone has a dream. Everyone wants to do well, but for some reason, there is this propensity to not set some money aside to help you achieve your dreams. And I'm about to say something that's going to come across really, really controversial. The most educated people make the most money. Now, when I say that, a lot of people's like, well, I'm seeing all these people on the internet who dropped out of college, who dropped out of high school, and they're making all this money because they started a business. Let's go ahead and talk about that from a truthful perspective. The number of people, do you know that the average millionaire has a college degree and many of them have masters? Let's go ahead and talk about the segments of society. Let's talk about the bottom 90% of society. These are people who don't go to school, they don't get hard degrees, STEM degrees, and they literally just kind of languish. And let's talk about that 10%. That 10% is where the majority of the money is in the country, in that top 10%. That 10%, and then, if you're in that 10%, it's much easier to get to that 1% because you're much closer. But one of the things that I consistently see is this lack of preparation. Because I just told you, I spent 14 years of work and sales and running businesses and doing all these other things to prepare myself to make a lot of money online. I'm going to tell you a little story. If you can do something very, very well in real life, you can kill it online. But here's the other part of that story. If you absolutely suck at it in real life, you're going to be a complete and utter mess online. I've noticed this. The things that I was able to do in real life, I was able to call up people, book appointments, sell very expensive commercial office furniture, and those lessons matriculated online. Now, I know everyone is looking for that story of little Sally. She came online. She was a homeless mother. She had 3 kids, and then she found this secret hack and where she started making all of this money, and she didn't have to change nothing about herself. All right, that's just not the reality. That's just not the reality, because one of the things I look at with myself and my level of preparation was the things that I had to do for the future. And this thing with money, this is a huge, huge issue. I don't think a lot of people grow up in environments where they're taught it's important to hold on to money. And once again, when I say money, I'm not talking millions. I'm talking $10,000, which should be in the realm of the average person to obtain. When I look back upon my entrepreneurial experience, the most money that I spent starting a business was $30,000. And that was the storage auction business because I didn't know what I was doing. I had no clue what I was doing. And people kept playing with me because they like, this dude got some money, and they kept playing with me and kept playing with me. And then once I figured out how to buy storage auction units, I made that $30,000 back in 2 months. In literally 2 months, because I went from a period of just spending to I went to a period of spending. I remember that first unit I bought. I bought it up in Cobb County. It was about $530. It was a 10 by 30. I thought it was 10 by 20, but it was 10 by 30. Packed full. 3 bedroom sets, washer, dryer, living room set. One of those bedroom sets I sold for $750. $750. And the whole unit cost me $530. Plus I had loading costs because I had to rent a U-Haul to move it and load it up. But selling that bedroom set, I actually paid for the cost of the unit and the U-Haul. And everything after that was 100% profit because I had learned how to buy storage auction units. And it took me, I'm going to say about 4 or 5 months of being out there and actually doing it. And this is a really, really important lesson. There are so many people who want to be successful, who want to do the things, but refuse to participate into the endeavor. When I was learning how to sell, guess what I was doing? I was out there selling every day. When I was learning how to make cold calls, guess what I was doing? I was making cold calls every day. When I wanted to learn how to run ads, guess what I was doing? I was running Craigslist ads every day. See, you got to ingratiate yourself in the activity to be successful, and you have to take your lumps. When you put out an ad that doesn't work, you got to ask yourself, why didn't it work? Why aren't these ads working? What's going on? What's happening, right? And this is one of the things I don't see, because the message here in this video is if you're brand new or rookie, no experience, it's going to take you 3 to 7 years to get to where you want to get. And I say that and people hate to hear it because they feel they snap their fingers and be successful with no training, no preparation, no money, and just get out here in these internet streets and make all this money. There's 187 million people in this country who work a job, and 90% of them make less than $45,000 a year. Are these people stupid? Are they dumb? Are they lazy? No, they're not. So this whole notion that you could come to the internet and squeeze this secret sauce and make all of this money without preparation, without money, without experience is 100% a lie. It's 100% a lie. But if you're willing to do the work, if you're willing to go through these processes and procedures, then it's not a lie. But see, that's the problem. Everyone wants to be snap their fingers successful. And I can literally look back at the things I had to actively do to become successful, to set myself up for future success. And it took me years to develop those skills. Years. And a lot of people just don't want to hear that because you think you could snap your fingers and be successful. I'm here to tell you, no, you can't. Why do I say that? Let's look at those 187 million people working jobs and 90% of them making 45,000. There's a strategy, there's a protocol, there's a way to do things so you can become successful. And to help you with that, this is why we have the Corporate Citizen Playbook. Teach you how to set up a holding company, teach you how to set up an operating company, teach you corporate banking, teach you how to get business credit, and then teach you how to start your first online business. All of that is below in the Corporate Citizen Playbook. But here's the thing, the information is 100% solid. How do I say that? Because I have a Porsche in the garage that it's almost paid for. I have a BMW X5M, which I paid cash for. I've got money in the bank. I have business credit. I show you receipts on this channel. It worked for me because I was open to doing the work. Now, if you don't want to do the work, there's no point in you going below and checking out the Corporate Citizen Playbook, because it's not going to happen unless you want to actually do the work. So if you are open to doing the work, doing the things that you need to do, go below, check out the Corporate Citizen Playbook Start learning the lessons so you can be successful. So that's right there below. Go ahead and check that out, and I will see you on the other side.